Welcome to DailyDEVs. Today I will be reading to you from Genesis chapters 19 and 20. And there came two angels to Sodom at Eden, and Lot sat in the gate of Sodom. And Lot, seeing them, rose up to meet them. And he bowed himself with his face toward the ground. And he said, Behold, my lords, turn in, I pray you, into your servant's house, and tarry all night, and wash your feet. And ye shall rise up early, and go on your ways. And they said, Nay, but we will abide in the street all night. And he pressed upon them greatly, and they turned in unto him, and entered into his house. And he made them a feast, and did bake unleavened bread, and they did eat. But before they lay down, the men of the city, even the men of Sodom, compassed the house round about, both old and young, all the people from every quarter. And they called unto Lot, and said unto him, Where are the men which came in to thee this night? Bring them out unto us, that we may know them. And Lot went out at the door unto them, and shut the door after him, and said, I pray you, brethren, do not so wickedly. Behold, I have two daughters which have not known man. Let me, I pray you, bring them out unto you, and do ye to them as is good in your eyes. Only unto these men do nothing, for therefore came they under the shadow of my roof. And they said, Stand back. And they said again, This one fellow came in to sojourn, and he will needs be a judge. Now will we deal worse with thee than with them. And they pressed sore upon the man, even Lot, and came near to break the door. But the men put forth their hand, and pulled Lot into the house to them, and shut to the door. And they smote the men that were at the door of the house with blindness, both small and great, so that they wearied themselves to find the door. That is just... Okay, so these men that came, let's see. It says there were two angels. This is chapter 19. And in verse 11, they're after these men to be for an unholy reason, and they get smote with blindness by these angels, and still, even though they're blinded, they're still trying to find the door. That just shows the persistence of how the enemy will work when he wants something. He doesn't care if he's wounded. He'll still try to press his way because Satan is stubborn, but greater is he that is in us than he that is in the world. God is greater than the powers of the enemy. And so these men were smote with blindness. In verse 12 says, And the men said unto Lot, Hast thou here any besides son-in-law, and thy sons, and thy daughters, and whatsoever thou hast in the city? Bring them out of this place, for we will destroy this place, because the cry of them is waxen great before the face of the Lord, and the Lord hath sent us to destroy it. So the city was in such sin that these angels, God had sent them to destroy the land. And so the angels asked Lot if they had anybody, any son-in-laws or sons or daughters, or whatever they had, whatever he had in that city, because Lot and his family and whatever belonged to Lot was going to be saved, because the Lord was going to destroy the city because of the wickedness of the city. And if you deal with anything like this, I don't condemn you. God is there to heal you and to deliver you and to set you free. And just know that you can be free from every plague of the enemy, everything that Satan comes to afflict you with or attack you with. God is the one who will deliver you. Jesus is the one who died for you. And if he loved you enough to die for you, surely he loves you enough to deliver you. And he will perfect what concerns you when you accept him into your life. And Lot went out and spake unto his sons-in-law, which married his daughters, and said, up, get you out of this place, for the Lord will destroy this city. But he seemed as one that mocked unto his sons-in-law. His son-in-laws, I guess they didn't believe him, that God was about to destroy the city. And when the morning arose, then the angels hastened Lot, saying, Arise, take thy wife and thy 2 daughters, which are here, lest thou be consumed in the iniquity of this city. So the men are hurrying them up, telling them, Come on, unless you be destroyed with the sin of this city. And while he lingered, with the punishment, it says, of the city. And while he lingered, the men laid hold upon his hand, and upon the hand of his wife, and upon the hand of his 2 daughters, the Lord being merciful unto him. And they brought him forth, and set him without the city. So, it looks like, Lot had gone in verse 14 to warn his son-in-laws, but it says he seemed as one that mocked. So his son-in-laws obviously didn't believe what he was saying. We haven't gotten to the story of Noah yet, but if I have this right, the people made fun of him because he was saying it was going to rain. And we have to be careful when God sends his word to us, that even if it seems like it's something that is not possible, or if it seems like it doesn't make sense to us, we have to still be careful that we take heed to what God is saying, because it could cause us to be destroyed if we do not heed what God is saying. Even sometimes if it doesn't make sense to us, if we know it's God, we need to take it. And if we don't know it's God, we need to ask God to confirm it, so that we can make sure that we're in the safe place. Because God sometimes will warn us, and things won't be according to our understanding, but if we obey him, then we'll be found in safety, according to his will. Okay, so verse 16. And while he lingered, the men laid hold upon his hand, and upon the hand of his wife, and upon the hand of his 2 daughters, the Lord being merciful unto him. And they brought him forth, and set him without the city. And it came to pass, when they had brought them forth abroad, that he said, Escape for thy life, look not behind thee, neither stay thou in all the plain, escape to the mountain, lest thou be consumed. And Lot said unto them, Oh, not so, my lord. Behold, now thy servant hath found grace in thy sight, and thou hast magnified thy mercy, which thou hast showed unto me in saving my life. And I cannot escape to the mountain, lest some evil take me and I die. Behold, now this city is near to flee unto, and it is a little one. Oh, let me escape thither. Is it not a little one? And my soul shall live. And he said unto him, See, I have accepted thee concerning this thing also, that I will not overthrow the city for the which thou hast spoken. Haste thee, escape thither, for I cannot do anything till thou be come thither. Therefore the name of the city was called Zoar. The sun was risen up on the earth when Lot entered Zoar. Then the Lord rained upon Sodom and upon Gomorrah brimstone and fire from the Lord out of heaven. And he overthrew those cities and all the plain and all the inhabitants of the city and that which grew up on the ground. But his wife looked back behind him, and she became a pillar of salt. And that is, that's just the power of God. They were warned not to look back. And to some of us, we might think, oh, that's not a big deal. But if God is telling us not to do something or to do something, we better take heed to what he's saying. The angel said, don't look back, and his wife looked back, and she was turned into a pillar of salt. And Abraham got up early in the morning to the place where he stood before the Lord. And he looked toward Sodom and Gomorrah, and toward all the land of the plain, and beheld, and lo, the smoke of the country went up as the smoke of a furnace. And it came to pass, when God destroyed the cities of the plain, that God remembered Abraham, and sent Lot out of the midst of the overthrow, when he overthrew the cities in the which Lot dwelt. And Lot went up out of Zoar, and dwelt in the mountain, and his 2 daughters with him, for he feared to dwell in Zoar, and he dwelt in a cave, he and his 2 daughters. And the firstborn said unto the younger, Our father is old, and there is not a man in the earth to come in unto us after the manner of all the earth. Come, let us make our father drink wine, and we will lie with him, that we may preserve seed of our father. And they made their father drink wine that night, and the firstborn went in and lay with her father, and he perceived not when she lay down nor when she arose. And it came to pass on the morrow that the firstborn said unto the younger, Behold, I lay yesternight with my father, let us make him drink wine this night also, and go thou in and lie with him, that we may preserve seed of our father. And they made their father drink wine that night also, and the younger arose and lay with him, and he perceived not when she lay down nor when she arose. Thus were both the daughters of Lot with child by their father. And the firstborn bare a son, and called his name Moab. The same is the father of the Moabites unto this day. And the younger she also bare a son, and called his name Ben-ammi. The same is the father of the children of Ammon unto this day. Chapter 20. And Abraham journeyed from thence toward the south country, and dwelled between Kadesh and Shur, and sojourned in Gerar. And Abraham said of Sarah his wife, She is my sister. And Abimelech king of Gerar sent and took Sarah. But God came to Abimelech in a dream by night, and said to him, Behold, thou art but a dead man, for the woman which thou hast taken, she is a man's wife. But Abimelech had not come near her, and he said, Lord, wilt thou slay also a righteous nation? Said he not unto me, She is my sister? And she, even she herself, said, He is my brother. In the integrity of my heart and innocency of my hands have I done this. And God said unto him in a dream, Yea, I know that thou didst this in the integrity of thy heart, for I also withheld thee from sinning against me. Therefore suffered I thee not to touch her. Now therefore restore the man his wife, for he is a prophet, and he shall pray for thee, and thou shalt live. And if thou restore her not, know that thou shalt surely die, thou and all that are thine. Therefore Abimelech arose early in the morning, called all his servants, and told all these things in their ear, and the men were sore afraid. And then Abimelech called Abraham, and said unto him, What hast thou done unto us? And what have I offended thee, that thou hast brought on me and on my kingdom a great sin? Thou hast done deeds unto me that ought not to be done. And Abimelech said unto Abraham, What sawest thou that thou hast done this thing? And Abraham said, Because I thought, surely the fear of God is not in this place, and they will slay me for my wife's sake. And yet indeed she is my sister, she is the daughter of my father, but not the daughter of my mother, and she became my wife. And it came to pass, when God caused me to wander from my father's house, that I said unto her, This is thy kindness which thou shalt show unto me. At every place whither we shall come, say of me, He is my brother. And Abimelech took sheep and oxen and men servants and women servants, and gave them unto Abraham, and restored him Sarah his wife. And Abimelech said, Behold, my land is before thee, dwell where it pleaseth thee. And unto Sarah he said, Behold, I have given thy brother 1,000 pieces of silver. Behold, he is to thee a covering of the eyes, and unto all that are with thee, and with all the other. Thus she was reproved. So Abraham prayed unto God, and God healed Abimelech and his wife and his maidservants, and they bare children. For the Lord had fast closed up all the wombs of the house of Abimelech, because of Sarah, Abraham's wife. So God was merciful, even though Abraham had this plan with Sarah to say that she was his sister, which she was, but that wasn't the full truth, because she was also his wife, or it wasn't everything. She was also his wife, and the judgment of God would have come on Abimelech had he lain with Sarah. But in God's mercy, He came to Abimelech in a dream to warn him and save him from sinning against him, so that he could spare him and his household, and he gave children to his wives. So that's Genesis 19 and 20.